schedule release. That's why Chris is here today, and there's plenty of stuff to discuss about it. Let's get right into it. And let's start with the one team that we knew had plenty of great games on the schedule. We knew they would be a magnet for standalone games, primetime games, late afternoon games on a Sunday, and just plenty of attention. Chris, the New York Jets and their schedule. And we knew yesterday right out of the gates, it's the Buffalo Bills who are visiting MetLife Stadium to get things started. But just look at that early start. And we talked about this. And the Jets have had tough schedules the past couple of years
have, right.
out of the gates. That is the first four. If you're going to break it down into quarters, I know it's hard to do now with 17 games, but those first 4 games, we're going to learn a lot about the New York Jets.
Agreed. I think you could put those first 4 games against anybody that I've seen so far as schedules, right? I mean, that this would be one that jumps out to you. Go, this might take the cake of the hardest first 4 games. It's nice you got the Patriots and Chiefs at home. And the Patriots, they take that rivalry real. That's the cupcake of the schedule, right? The Cowboys, super talented. You got to go down there and deal with them. We know the Bills will be rolling and ready to go. So, yeah, I'm with you, Mike. That first 4, we're going to have a real good feel. And it's not like the next few are that much better. I put a lot of stock into the first 4, but 5, 6, and 7, teams haven't given up at that point either. So where you can look at that, where, the Jets they're going to have to hit the ground running here. And it's good that Rodgers is there, and they got that done just for what we're seeing right now.
That's right. And look, one thing that surprised me too, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. I've got some technical issues in the house that I have to get taken care of. But the one thing that really stood out to me as a major surprise, Week 8,
right.
The Giants game.
Yeah.
That's 1:00 Eastern on a Sunday. Yeah. What is up? That was a stunner to me. Of all the things I saw yesterday that surprised me, that is a prime game that's getting subsumed within the cluster. Like, you want to watch Aaron Rodgers and the Giants?
Definitely. I was shocked.
In standalone, you wanted it to be a night game so you could go to it.
I did. I
wanted it to be a Monday night or a Thursday night.
I was kind of surprised too. It was one of the first ones I looked at. It was as far as the showdown games there. And I thought, man, it's the first time the Giants and Jets have been good, and they're both on the schedule playing each other, since probably the 2011 season. It's been a long time since there's been like a chance where it's a meaningful game. But nonetheless, that game there, the Chargers the next week, even that little run after the bye week there, at Raiders, at Bills, Dolphins at home. I mean, wow. I mean, they got something to work with here for sure, and they're going to have to play good on the offensive side of the ball and make sure Rodgers is going strong here. And that defense was good last year. They're going to have to be damn good this year, that's for sure. It's a different year. Bullseye on their back more this year.
I could see 2-4 going into the bye. That's not impossible.
Not at all.
Now, look, I don't. Game by game, I don't know that I would pick them to lose for the first 6, but I could see 2-4. I could see wins against the Broncos and the Patriots and losses to the Bills, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Eagles. Now they're getting 4 of their toughest 10 games right out of the gates, but we've seen Rodgers storm back from a slow start before.
Yeah.
But once you see it drop like this, you get an appreciation of how difficult it is. It really is a gauntlet for this Jets team. And when you have that many games out of the normal schedule, 6 standalone, 4 at 4:25 p.m. Eastern, 10 of those games in a big spot. It does surprise me, though, that they have 5 1:00 Eastern games altogether. I didn't think they'd have that many. I thought they would be a major draw. Like the Cowboys. Like, it's rare to see the Cowboys ever at 1:00 Eastern on a Sunday. Very rare. 3 times a year, maybe. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
So and later in the year, maybe some of those games get flexed to 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Who knows? But I thought they could have gotten more out of that Jets schedule in big spots than they did. And maybe they were burned a little bit by what happened with the Broncos.
I think that's
when
the
they had
biggest
7
thing.
Standalone games and a lot of them stunk.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. Like you're right, but what they did, and I think there's a little proof in the pudding as far as what you're talking about there. is it does seem like it was a little more front-loaded with like maybe primetime games on their schedule as compared, to or because of the Broncos issue I'm talking about. The Bills game, the Cowboys is 4:25, the Patriots go back to 1, but then it's the Chiefs at 8:25, the Broncos at 4:25, the Eagles at 4:25. Right? You got the Giants at 1, like you mentioned, and then there's 2 night games again where they go Chargers and Las Vegas Chargers on a Monday night and then Vegas on a Sunday night. So, yeah, I think you're right on that the Russell Wilson thing probably scared them, and that's why they kind of front-loaded some of those prime marquee games in that matchup. But, the one thing I'll say, Mike, too, when you were breaking it down, like, yeah, I could see 2 and 4. But that's what's crazy about this. They're not a playoff team, right? But man, we know their roster's good. We're both impressed with what they've done. You look at it and I go, wait, Bills versus Jets? I don't know. If we broke that down, what do you think? We might take more Jets players than Bills players. I'm not sure the Jets roster isn't better than the Bills. Cowboys is close. I think their roster is better than the Patriots. We know the Chiefs win. They got a better roster, I think, than the Broncos. I do. And then we know the Eagles have the best roster. So when you look at it that way, you go, hey, yeah, this is a tough schedule, but damn, these teams got to deal with the Jets too, and they got talent across the across the roster as well.
Something that Miles Simmons and I discussed yesterday about that opener, Bills at Jets.
Yeah.
Here's why it's so critical to the Jets, Chris, and I want to get your thoughts on this. But my take was this is an absolutely critical game for the Jets because if you lose to the Bills at home, you have to play them later. There it is, Week 11 at Buffalo.
Right.
You lose there, you're swept. How are you going to win the division if the Bills sweep you? And we've established in the past 4 games against the AFC West, 4 games against the NFC East. Could be only one team gets out of that conference. They're going to cannibalize each other with 6 games. You go 0-2 against the Bills. In other words, you start 0-1, losing at home to the Bills. That puts you on a trajectory that's going to be hard to get off of if the Bills continue to play well like they have in recent years, and they're going to be there. You're going to have to make up 3 games in 15 contests if you get swept by the Bills if you want to win that division, and there's only going to be potentially 1 playoff berth coming out of the AFC East. That gives that game even higher stakes for a Week 1 game than it would normally have.
I would agree. And then the fact that Week 2 is at Dallas, right? And you look at that, I mean, we know Dallas is super talented, and I mean, you go 0-1, you're sitting there staring at, oh no, we got a chance to go 0-2. We got to deal with the Cowboys and their home opener there, where there's going to be a different kind of energy in the stadium like there always is for a home opener. Yeah, that's scary. And it's also, and I think this is why I'm not mad at them for making the Rodgers thing happen, maybe overpaying for it and getting to go. A team like the Bills, they've been together. There's not a lot of new pieces there. They're going to hit the ground running, just like we saw last year with the Rams game and our opener against Rams, Rams hosting the Bills. So they're a team that they know who they are. There's no major coaching changes. I know they got a different defensive coordinator, but it's still McDermott's defense there. So that's where I do think, the continuity, Rodgers getting reps with the team, and them putting, their best foot forward to look their best for Week 1. It's imperative with this schedule and like you're saying, with a divisional matchup to start it off.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.